Instead of feeling lost in the night, instead of feeling your world just ain't right, call on me, I will be waiting. Count on me, I will be there. Instead of feeling like your times get too tough, when you feel your best ain't enough. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, though. Like there ought to be like a way to like allow people. There ought to be a law against rudeness. Like instead of everything just always being um, disorderly conduct, or what they call um, uh, the terroristics, the terror and horror of your words. Your words are horrific. I'm going to call you a terror. A terror. Uh, Yay for the parade. I don't know. We're going to rah, rah, rah. Okay. Maria. Maria. Marianne, Marianda, okay, Marianne, okay, I am, or is it Marianne? Marianda, right? Am I right? I'm right, okay. So, read that, read me, read me, read me, read me. You know, Miranda Rice. You know, sometimes they do forget. Now, how do you prove that, right? Well, now they got cameras attached to them. And everybody want to claim small city, but by this day and age, there shouldn't be no investigation office that ain't got no cameras in them. By now, 2025, every investigation office around the country should have cameras in it. Historically speaking, just out of respect, no, not, our people, no, we shouldn't have to go into any interrogation office. And you ain't got no camera, I ain't going in there. I ain't saying shit. And I want people need to find ways to cause it's always something. Like, what's wrong with these cities? Like, if cities are not for you and they don't want to work with you, you can't get no job, you can't get no progress started, you ain't getting no foundation grounded for yourself. Like, if cities are just so not for this person, does it give people a right just to sit around getting fat? So what you gonna do, sit in your city and just sit there and eat yourself 400 pounds? Is that what you're gonna do? Get a job and suddenly when you make a decision, you're fired? I'm like, what's really going on in the city? Like, how you gonna tell someone else to get the thorn out their eye? You ain't got it out your own. People always saying you should move on. A little voice, no, that voice ain't telling you to move on. Not in the sense of what you're thinking, move on. The voice in your head is telling you to move on from yourself. Replenish yourself. That's just like giving yourself a baptism. Like it's telling you to move on because there's a better way. But not a better way in the means of physically tickets and cars and Greyhounds and and lifts and out of city and state vehicles and occupying the road. Like, move on and keep it moving. A little voice in the back of your head, that's the indication of saying, like, what I'm saying, you need to replenish You gotta find another way to think, find another way to eat. You know what I'm saying? A better way. You know, baptize your thinking. Change your ways. That's really, it's like it's metaphorically speaking. It's not really saying, because I'm like, obviously there's a glitch and a tug, a struggle, and moving on. Just like she was ready to move on and do something that day, and just that quickly an obstacle came in her way, and she couldn't get where she wanted to be. You see what I'm saying? An obstacle just that quickly. So it shows you that just trying to tell people to move on. Like, if you're in a college city and you can't be fundamentally worth anything to a person, that's a major red flag. That's a sign that something's seriously wrong with your program. Something's wrong with your mechanism. Because there shouldn't be no reason why if you are in a college-based city with transportation, with city vehicles, what's the problem? Why are you being told to move on? What's not helping you? What's not sorting things out for you? See, we all just gotta realize that at some point, I think that money has made people forget that in the day, is the good Lord above, yourself, and those you surround yourself with. Because people are not animals. See what I'm saying? See, people always have to compare themselves to wildlife in the jungle. But see, when God made Adam and Eve, he placed all mankind, boom, right there together. Like, there's the lion, the tiger, the bear, and then there's a human being. See, we're not really separated. No human being is separated from the next one. It's just that if God told me not to eat the apple, and he told you to not to eat the apple, if you run over there and eat the apple, that don't make us separate. We both kicked out the garden now, and we still all we got. See what I'm saying? See, man's decisions has a way of making you think that you're separate from the next person, but actually all human beings are the same. Just like no sin is greater than the next one. But you could think that because the way human beings judge things, you would think one sin, that something that someone does should deserve, the definitive consequences beyond. It's a consequence for it. But unless a person's just sick-minded and just gone, then yeah, your times to serve is not a life sentence. See, it's already a sin to charge people life sentences if they're able to be, back out with society. That's where they should be. See what I'm saying? See, people like to start off everything with these horrendous sentences, because I'm at the same time, though, it's like, it take a fool to keep forgiving and forgiving and forgiving, or overlooking people's ignorance. Because, see, if I put myself in a predicament to make somebody come at me in a foul way, I can't go scream and cry wolf and say, oh, well, you did this. I'm like, it's like people need to find a way to use their head and use their sense. Like, make sense of some shit. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pamper you and baby you, and you sitting here instigating shit. You sitting here bothering people. No, I'm not. I'm not going to get in the middle of it. And matter of fact, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, if there's a situation involved, shouldn't it make sense? With so much on the line and so many things that can be so much damage that can happen. Instead of me just sitting here, okay, well, let me just choose one side. They ought to have city cameras where it's like, let me see, let me set up a little camera in front of this building, in front of this house, because the minute you call a domestic dispute, they should put a stick camera on your lawn that indicates we don't know whose side to choose. We're gonna put this here. You are not allowed to remove it. Anybody removes it, and both of y'all, here you go. The camera will see who did it. It'll be able to be validated for. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, it's just like way too easy for people to make big, huge, gigantic decisions in people's lives that make a big, big impact. And, who pays for that? Because there really is no direct law that indicates that, he can't signify that he wants to cancel that ride. Just like when, you want to have service with a bank and they cancel, you say they don't like your credit history. They don't want to service you. So if he feels as if maybe she's too big for his car, and he just simply says, I appreciate you found a different driver. And it's not like he didn't give other reasons. Well, I don't want, because you're blah, 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 you're blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to, like, that's a reasonable reason. Like, yeah, like, I doubt he runs across people that big every day. Especially females. I doubt that. I really doubt that. He might have had a lot of suitcases or maybe a lot of weight put in his car from things people have put in there, but I doubt he's ever ran across a woman that big. And he just knew, wow, like, Because it could also be the seatbelts. Could it be the seatbelt might not have been big enough to support her weight. But because he made a decision to deny the ride, because what if he would have said okay and then something would have happened? Now who's the fault? Who's the liability on? Is that liability on him or is that liability on the company? But there is nothing that definitively say as into like him denying a ride for that cause might seem like he's being funny, but he's trying to be specifically just being what they would call a goody two shoes. Like, I'm too good to be seen riding with you. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like, I thought companies could deny service to anybody for any reason at all. They don't really have to give you a reason. But at this point, technically, I do think that sort of was of some kind of significant reason, given how LYFT does have vehicles that are specifically designed for heavy artillery. So the fact that he made that cautious decision, now why he ain't just mentioned that, I think he did mention it, but it's like, then again, he mentioned the company rule, which was to, insist on a heavy artillery vehicle. You see what I'm saying? Giving the size of the seat, because see, with other vehicles, the seats might be bigger. They might be more, more huge for her comfort at the same time. Because some of these cars are like machine operated. Like the seats can actually come out from underneath the bottom and give you extra room to sit down on. So like if you want to sit down, the seat will pull out and make it longer. And then, like, if you're tall, the seat will come up so you can lean your head back. So even though some of these vehicles are probably more expensive and they probably cost you a little bit more money, I mean, at the end of the day, though, it's like, then again, in protocol, there are cars that are more suitable for her. But he was fired. So, I mean, I'm just saying, though, like, why? I don't understand, you. I mean, I guess everybody, I guess if you went in school or you went in college or, you know, you ain't got one of these mental institution jobs or a job at the hospital